This is the pound dollar, and we're looking at the 4-hour time frame. And before I get started with this video, I'll just give you a recap on how I've organized my charts. The horizontal lines are my hand-drawn support and resistance levels. The other lines are trend lines that I draw on the weekly time frame, which are the green ones, the daily time frame, the black ones, and then the 4-hour time frame, the pink ones. So let's take a look at the weekly time frame, show you how this weekly trend line came about. I drew it from this swing low to this swing low. And one thing that I've adapted recently in my trend line drawing is instead of removing trend lines that have been broken, I like to leave them on the chart a little bit longer because I've been noticing that when price breaks a trend line, it very often comes back and revisits it, retests it, sometimes not as soon as I'd like, and that's why I've removed them in the past. But sometimes it'll take a while for price to revisit that level, and that level does seem to hold more often than not. So I find value in leaving my trend lines on the chart until it's very obvious that price has moved away from them. Now, having said that, the support and resistance levels are much more important as far as criteria than the trend lines are. The trend lines would come in secondary, maybe even third after Fibonacci retracement levels. But looking at the daily time frame here on the pound dollar, what I'm looking for right now is to see if price will take out the high from this swing over here. As long as we don't take out this high, then my bias is that there's still momentum in the downtrend. Very hard to tell right now from a fundamental point of view what's going on because of the debt ceiling with the dollar and the euro collapse with Spain and Italy joining the fray. So really everything is up in the air, but my analysis is basically based on technical. So from a technical standpoint, I'm looking right now at this trend line holding and this swing high holding. As long as these two things hold, there would be more momentum to the downside in my opinion, at least revisiting the 200 EMA and possibly this support and resistance level of 160-100. Before moving on from the pound dollar, I just wanted to say that I also look at harmonic patterns, which you may remember. And on the daily time frame, there's been a bullish butterfly that we basically just came out of. I'll go ahead and draw it on here. And because the retracement after the formation of this butterfly has already passed the 61, let me check this here, the 61.8 fib retracement level, yes. This is a good place because of the confluence of events between the trend line there and also a good exit on a butterfly that a reversal is very likely at this level. I would definitely say that I'm bearish on the euro dollar if it weren't for the fundamentals going on right now. Very risky to take a position on this one for the long-term swing trade, but swing analysis shows that the prevailing trend is still bearish. On the 4-hour chart, you're going to see a bunch of my trend lines, which can be confusing. But let me show you this Gartley that I have been keeping an eye on here. Right there, and we had a nice confluence with the trend line from the daily time frame at the completion of this Gartley. We've had a nice retracement since then, and this pink line is the 4-hour time, the 4-hour trend line. You can see we have a 1, 2, 3 setting up possibly here, where number 1 would be the break of the trend line, number 2 would be the retest of that trend line, and number 3 would be the breakaway. If we do see a breakaway here, then I would anticipate a good bearish move to the downside. Now again, that's technically speaking and not fundamentally. And one other confluence on this would be the bearish divergence shown in the stochastic. This is the euro yen on the daily time frame, and this has been one of my favorite currency pairs recently. I like how it so neatly and tidily hits these support and resistance areas and adheres to the trend lines, and it just makes it a lot easier to read when pairs do this. And back here we had the Japan earthquake, and I've been watching that level since then. Prices come back down to that, but this is the third time we're bouncing at that level. Hard to say what it will do here because of the euro weakness. A good chance that it could break through here, but no use speculating that. For now, I am watching this level here to see for telltale signs that would show to either this being a reversal now to go to the upside, or a continuation with plenty of room to drop below that into the 107.50 area. The pound yen has actually been a really good pair to me lately also. You can see it's been trending very neatly, and very small little pullbacks would have been good areas here to get in short for long swing trades. This is the daily time frame we're looking at. You can see I do have 2 trend lines drawn here, and we blew right past this one. The reason I haven't removed this trend line is because I wanted to see if this is another 1, 2, 3 bounce. We have 1 breaking through the trend line, 2 retesting it, and then 3 bouncing away from it. So as soon as we get a confirmation that truly this bounce off of the trend line will be a continuation down, I will remove this trend line. In the meantime, I'll leave it there, because if price decides to turn around, this is another level where we could find some exhaustion and setting up for a new trend. Alright, so these are the 4 pairs I'm going to cover in this video because I don't want to go too long. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave them.